Have you ever wondered why some people manage to accumulate wealth while others continue struggling with debts and endless expenses? Have you questioned why you never learned about money in school? Everything you never learned about money in your entire life, you will learn in this brief video. Get ready for a journey of discovery where we will reveal secrets about how money really works, far beyond just saving. We will delve into the world of personal finance, entrepreneurship, and much more. Are you ready to change your mindset about money? Then stay tuned, because this is a conversation you won't want to miss. Do you know the boxer Mike Tyson? He was the greatest boxer of all time and earned millions of dollars throughout his life. It is estimated that he earned over $300 million during his career. However, he declared bankruptcy in 2003 with a debt of $30 million. So I ask you, why do many of our actions or motivations in life have an unbridled desire to obtain a lot of money? Why do you want it so much, especially when the big problem seems to be our ability to manage it? Learn a great lesson: money does not tolerate insults. It is an excellent employee, but a terrible boss. Learn to master it or it will master you. Consider for a moment your attitude towards money and how it manifests in your own life. What does money mean to you? How long does it stay in your possession when you receive it? It probably slips through your fingers very quickly, right? This puts you in a vulnerable position, a vulnerability that brings you closer to get-rich-quick schemes. And that's when you'll see an ad from a guru saying that you can become rich if you buy their course. While my channel addresses these topics in one way or another, I realize that our perceptions about money are sometimes more crucial than our ability to generate it. Especially when our own brains are wired in a way that prevents us from being financially free. Does it really matter if you earn more than 6 figures a year if at the end of the year you have nothing left in your account? Does that make sense? It's time to solve this mystery and explore a better way to understand money. The truth is that we have been taught to earn money and spend it immediately. But in reality, it should be earn money, invest a good portion, save, and then spend. Now think, what is money, or, better yet, what does money represent? When you make a purchase in a free market, what is the meaning of money in these transactions? Money is commonly defined as a medium of exchange, a tool that facilitates the purchase, sale, or exchange of goods between parties. But I believe that doesn't say much about what money really represents. I think the best way to view money is as an expression of value. You hand over a certain amount of money to buy something because you perceive its value to be equivalent to the amount of money you handed over. Of course, you don't determine the price as an individual, but the market as a whole does. But let's focus on this point: money equals value. Why is this so important? Because we often give money a moral meaning. A quote you've surely heard is that money is the root of all evil. We look at someone who seems to have a lot of wealth and think they were lucky in life, or that they were dishonest, that someone had to lose for them to win. And it never occurred to you that the person generated value to earn that money. Understanding that to earn a lot of money you have to generate a lot of value is the best way to understand that money is not necessarily bad or makes a person bad. Of course, there are scammers who convince you that what they have to sell is worth it, but that doesn't say much about money, but more about the person themselves. Money simply amplifies your options and broadens your horizons. The choices you make with that money have everything to do with your own moral dispositions. So, money is an expression of value. Money simply amplifies who the person is. If a person becomes arrogant when they have a good amount of money, it's because they've been like that their whole life, they just never showed it. Now that they have money, they've amplified what they already were. If a person is humble without money, with money in their pocket, they will become even more humble, because money only amplifies who the person already is. Now, how does this change the reality for someone living paycheck to paycheck or someone consumed by credit card debts? Simply stating that money equals value changes nothing. Can I make you see money in a different way? But how much of that is practical advice? To answer that question, I'll need to ask you another question. What is your relationship with money? Money will enter your life and leave. This is a relationship that is often expressed by your income and expenses. Another practical way to express this, which I personally like a lot, is your production versus your consumption. For the most part, money will enter your life because you have produced some form of value, and for most of us, that value will come in the form of work. Money will leave when you consume something, a Netflix subscription, a new car, a house, travel, and other things. In many ways, we can see an individual's net worth as a metric to determine their relationship between consumption and production. Consider for a moment, think about all the money that has come in and out of your life. How much of that do you still have in possession today or invested in some form of asset? Do you think it's unbalanced or needs improvement? The probability is both. But for most of us, the biggest problem lies in our consumption. There is a study that reveals that 98% of Brazilian workers spend their entire salary. It also found that among workers earning $100,000 or more per year, 1 in 10 also spends their entire salary. Now you could argue that someone earning 6 figures a year might still want more, but when you receive a much larger amount than the average salary and cost of living and still find a way to spend it all, I would say your relationship with consumption needs fixing. Even before you earn more money. Since any wealthy celebrity who has filed for bankruptcy can show us that earning a lot of money means nothing when you have a consumption problem. A reckless, endless, and self-destructive or senseless pursuit. You work hard, but the money never stays in your hand. It's not about working hard that will make you earn a lot of money. It's about working the right way and generating value instead of selling your time. Try to sell a product because your time is limited, but the products you can sell can be endless. Now things are starting to make sense to you. A real rat race is someone who lives on the financial edge, one step away from bankruptcy, constantly feeling that the moment money enters their life, it disappears immediately. And the more responsibilities you have, the more dangerous this relationship becomes. Losing a job, an unexpected health accident, or any unforeseen circumstance can put your entire financial situation in crisis. The first step to organizing your financial life is to become aware of your relationship with money. This is often done by recording your monthly expenses, jotting down everything like rent, transportation, food, clothing, entertainment, etc. It's about understanding yourself as a consumer. But this part is difficult. In behavioral finance, this feeling can often be labeled as the ostrich effect, which is our tendency to want to avoid negative financial information. It's that feeling you have when you refuse to look at your bank account after a night of partying, fearing what it might show. And yet, after going through this stage, it's time to take control of your behavior as a consumer. This often involves the idea of creating a budget, deciding each month how much you intend to spend in each of these categories and sticking to it. It's about systematically observing what you consume and finding ways to minimize those things to finally live below your means. In other words, having a lifestyle that still leaves you enough money to save and invest in some way. It is also important to note that before deciding to invest, one of the most common practices in personal finance is to maintain an emergency fund, a specific amount in savings that you keep in case of emergencies. This reserve would be an amount equivalent to 3 to 6 months of expenses. But why is the idea of living below your means important? Why would we choose to do the opposite? I could make an entire video about our cognitive biases. The ostrich effect is just one of them that can affect your financial situation. There is a tendency to favor short-term rewards over larger rewards in the future. You choose to buy a new pair of shoes instead of saving that money for a future investment. Most of the time you don't even need the new shoes, you just bought them to impress people you don't even like. When people around you buy something, you buy it too, just so you don't feel like you're falling behind. When your neighbor buys a new car, you buy one too. They buy expensive clothes and you want to buy them too. They renovate the house and you do too. All in an attempt to impress or try to keep up with others due to some form of social pressure. However, in today's world, they are not just literal neighbors, they are much more present than that. We are all vulnerable to social approval. We care a lot about what others think of us. But the problem is that we measure our self-esteem by the number of people who like what we post on social media. To be clear, I'm not saying that buying expensive clothing, jewelry, or a new car is a bad thing, nor do I believe that consuming is a bad thing. The goal of this video is not to philosophize about the repercussions of a materialistic view of the world, but to draw attention to who you are as a consumer. Do you care more about appearing to have money or actually having money? Be careful, this pretending to be rich game can actually make you poor. The real rat race is not just working from 9 to 5 in a job, but living a whole life chasing things, whether it's a paycheck or a material possession, so that your biggest goals and ambitions are sidelined to continue this race. Do you want to get out of this race? It's fun to talk about making money or imagining having as much wealth as possible, but what's the point when your relationship with money as a consumer means losing everything or having to work nonstop to finance that lifestyle? That's the real rat race. But with all that said, let's talk now about how to make money. Dive a little deeper into the stock market and opportunities to make money, because for a long time personal finance channels and stocks have been great for learning how to invest your money. However, if there's one thing I wish they talked more about, it would be the ability to make money. And I understand why they don't. It's easier to cut your expenses by the amount you consume than to increase your income by talking to a mass audience. Advising things that will work for most people is usually the best option. A move that adopts the strategy of living extremely, saving every penny, and investing as soon as possible with the intention of retiring as soon as possible. Minimalists also share a similar view, though more rooted in philosophical positions about the world and materialism. By and large, people who create this style of video related to finance promote strategies that fit within the spectrum of living with little, saving a lot of money, and investing for the long term. And there's nothing wrong with that strategy. It mostly works for people who earn a lot of money, like them. But let's be honest, they don't need to cut down on coffee consumption or live below expectations because they already earn millions of dollars every month, nor do they rely on these strategies to have a profitable business valued at $1 billion. These people are using a large-scale means of production. Do you know what the secret is? The most impactful way to increase your value is to find a problem in the market, create a solution for that problem, and sell that solution to the market on a large scale. This is the entrepreneurial path where a successful large-scale company can produce a great deal of value for society, such that your productive side of the equation grows exponentially compared to a standard job. But this is not a path that everyone can or should try to follow. It's about reflecting on your own capabilities and whether entrepreneurship is more suitable for your direction. That said, to increase your income, don't rely solely on your salary. Look for a way to have a second source of income. Your means of production could be developing an app or software that solves a problem you believe the market would be willing to pay for your solution. For most people, work in the form of a standard 9-to-5 job will be their means of production, but that doesn't mean your ability to produce stops there. Understanding yourself as a producer is about understanding the ways in which you can generate value for the market. If you can produce value on a large scale, that means earning money on a large scale. Fortunately, the internet has provided us with many opportunities to produce something and put it on the market. Whether the market really wants what you have produced can only be determined after you have launched everything you have produced. So, to summarize, it is important first to become aware as a consumer, understand what you buy and why you buy it, record your consumption in a notebook, and then establish a budget to manage and control that consumption. Production then becomes a matter of maximizing the amount of value you can bring to society through work, a business, or another means of production. This is a framework that has helped me a lot, just as I am sure it has helped countless other people interested in making money. Before you leave this video, I want to say one thing. Thank you very much for watching until the end. You're still here, which is evidence that I provided some kind of value to you in one way or another. So be sure to click the like button, and if you want to see more videos about finance, money, entrepreneurship, and business topics in general, I have these videos that I know will fill you with valuable information.